Get ready. Straight from the streets of LA.
Lower Alabama, that is.
We're talking SEC football, and that's all. This is AP and Kelly as we see it.
I'm all about that action. I'm all about that action. I'm all about that action. I said I'm all about that action.
I'm AP Stedham from LA, Lower Alabama.
And I'm Kelly Finley, journalist of more than 24 years, covering all things news and notes and, of course, sports. This is our time of the year.
This is AP and Kelly as we see it, a syndicated weekly 1-hour show discussing the Southeastern Conference and always keeping an eye on the national college football scene and other sports. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, AP. Have you caught your breath yet? Because, wow, what a weekend.
Yeah, it was a fabulous weekend, Kelly. We had a chance to visit Las Vegas to see the opening between an SEC opponent, LSU Tigers, and the University of Southern California Trojans from the Big Ten. Yes, I said the Big Ten.
I know. You know, me being from Michigan, I'm all about that Big Ten. Love to see when the SEC and Big Ten, get to be on the same stage, if you will, national stage. You're very humble. You say you saw the game. If you're not following our show, a Facebook page, Instagram, and X, then you're missing out because you talk about on the field, right there in the end zone, getting just the greatest videos and pictures. So that is a gentle reminder to make sure you follow AP and Kelly as we see it online so that you can get that access. You can see those pictures. You can see those videos. You don't have to wait until a couple hours later. They are there. Always a good reminder for our friends who are just tuning in each and every week.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kelly. And we remind people, we're on YouTube. It's at AP Stedham. We're looking forward to being on video. Last week was our first show, but all our videos that we have from the games will be there as well. The press conferences, the winning plays. I was able to get the winning touchdown last week, so that was a lot of fun.
I know. I saw you. I said, look at my co-host doing his thing out there. Very great coverage, and I know we'll get to that as we move and groove throughout our segments. But we, of course, always want to thank our sponsors for allowing us to do what we do.
Yeah, Greer's Markets, they're in Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, 29 locations. And Kelly, they sell gas at some of these locations as well. So
really?
So they're, like I said, every time I go there, I'm finding something different. So yeah, check that out as well. But they have Lucy, the chef Lucy has all the recipes that you can prepare for the football games and the special occasions. They have the coloring contest for the children. That's been going on for decades. So that's starting up again as well. And they have all the delicious snacks and the food, and you're getting ready for the ball games, those birthdays, those parties. And if you can't make it to on site, you call the Audible, as we always say. Go online and click groceries to go, and the groceries will be delivered to you right at your house or your home or your business, wherever you're having that party and that special occasion. And remember, Greer's got it. They guarantee it.
You always talk about the kids and the coloring books, but I tell you, adults love those coloring books too, because if the kids happen to fall asleep, then you're going to finish up their work. It is so therapeutic to color inside those lines for sure. That's a great reminder.
It is. And then, Kelly, we have Wind Creek. And I know you love this ad that Wind Creek is running with the new players.
When you go to
there's a sign up desk, and you say that you heard this ad on our show, and remember that code Kelly 25. You're going to get an extra $25. So Kelly, they really think highly of you. It wasn't AP 25. It was Kelly 25.
Because they probably know I need to win. I need to make sure my pocketbook is A-okay. And that's Kelly with a Y. Make sure you spell it right if you
Kelly
really
with a Y. That's correct. and that's the 3 locations at Atmore, Montgomery, and Wetumpka. And you also have a chance to win up $1,000 on a rebate potentially on your first play. So that's important as well. So join the folks at Wind Creek, and remember Kelly 25 with a Y.
Oh, that's right. That's very true. I thank you. Thank you so much for that.
And then, Kelly, we want to remember Robertsdale Dental Care. Not only does Jason Northcutt offer basic full-service dental treatment, but Dr. Northcutt has developed a niche or within the practice where he provides comprehensive dental implant services such as single implants, bone grafting, and full mouth reconstruction. Jason Northcutt has been highly trained in those disciplines to offer comfortable and long-lasting solutions to major dental problems. So come by and see Dr. Jason Northcutt and his staff at Robertsdale Dental Care. 251-947-3636.
Yeah, there's nothing better than showing that winning smile when your team wins, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Love it. Love it. All right. We talked about this before we even started the show about how many people were watching various games. And I know I had eyes on some games and you had eyes on some games on top of being at a game. And we wanted to kind of recap some of the games that really just jumped out at us. I'll throw it to you first since you were on location last weekend.
Yeah, that LSU USC game was fantastic between those two teams. We know that they were atrocious on defense last year, played much better, tackled hard, hit hard. Their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, threw for over 300. Miller Moss had a great ball game for USC. They had that fourth quarter drive to win the ball game, 27-20. LSU was not happy, their coach, Brian Kelly, because they had undisciplined penalties, Kelly. That means some celebration type things. I don't understand, Kelly, how you're in the heat, 100 degrees, springtime, summer, preseason camp, and you score a touchdown and you have to be so selfish as to create a penalty for your team. And it led to a score because
keep your helmet on.
Keep your helmet on. We don't need the gestures. It was 15 extra yards on the kickoff. Right. He had a long kickoff, led to points. Kelly, I have a suggestion for all coaches who have this issue.
Okay.
You're going to run a drill. You have probably 100 players. Put 50 on one end zone, 50 on the other. You have a referee there. You do it in pairs. Okay. Everybody, the quarterback hands to everybody. They score a touchdown. They hand the ball to the official, number one. Or you do it in pairs. You hug your teammate or high five your teammate. Or number three, you run to the sideline and do any dance that your mama taught you. Okay. And so that way, when you're scoring that touchdown, everybody on the team knows we ran this drill. What are we supposed to do?
Because you're supposed to act like you've been here before, number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, when we think about how this is such a business, it's such a great reminder that these are young men.
That's
and
right.
Some of them have not had the best leadership role models to tell them the do's and don'ts of. But the fact that the world is watching you at all times, just know that when you put that jersey on,
that's right.
You're representing, yes, the last name on your back, which is you. You're representing your school. You're representing your family. And to have a gesture like that young man, not only did he do that in real time, but then of course they replayed it. So, and our nation, we'd be remiss if we didn't point out the fact that our nation's struggling when it comes to things called gun violence. Yes, and so to see an athlete who's been so blessed with so much talent to recreate something like that, see, I would not only sit him down, he wouldn't be playing in the next game. I don't care how good he is, because I just, but see, that's the mom mode in me. And that's number one, because you're supposed to act like you've been there before. And then Coach Kelly, appreciate all the enthusiasm after the game, slamming the table and all that good stuff. But listen, there's something that can be addressed now in the beginning of the season, because you got plenty of time to work it on out.
Yeah, Kelly, my feeling about sitting a player is you hurt the team. So what I would say is I'm having him be at the soup kitchen every day for a month at 5 a.m. because I don't want him to take away from the team. My feeling is I could teach him a lesson by helping others and not taking away from the team, because that's the way I feel about it. Even though he committed that violation, it really hurt his team badly.
But he could do both. Let's be real. Number one, also, he hurt the team by doing what he did. So he started this. And when you have leadership around you, you've got to finish it. You're the adult in the room. It was just... And I only know all of this because as I sent you a picture, I was flying back from Detroit. I was watching the game on the plane. I was so happy.
Yes.
But when I saw that, I tell you what, I wanted to pull that young man aside, because it doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that he needs some leadership. And you'd rather correct this in game one than it be, championship conversations, and something of that selfishness impacts the entire team. Team. So
exactly, yeah. As soon as I saw that gesture, and he's a senior, I believe, or at least one of the players was, I believe. I was very disappointed.
Very disappointed
for him, his family, the university, the state. I just thought, you're trying so hard to win this ball game, and then all of a sudden you have this selfish moment that really jeopardizes your chances to win.
And unfortunately, when you do things like that, you lean into so many different stereotypes that people have about certain universities or certain people or certain age groups. And you're so much better than that. You have been given the world on a platter thanks to your blessings of talent in football. So use it to your advantage. But I'm going to say he's learned from this situation, and we can move on to our next game for sure.
Right, right. And Kelly, we're going to have two spectacular guests. And I know you love them because they're women. And we try to get different voices. And we have one was a friend of the show, been on before, and then somebody brand new. And I'll just mention their names. We have our first guest in segment 2 will be Jaden Watson Fisher from the Raleigh News and Observer. Of course, we're going to discuss the huge game between the SEC and the ACC in Charlotte. The Tennessee Volunteers take on the North Carolina State Wolfpack. So she's going to bring some expertise about the pack to our program. We really appreciate it. And then we have Angelique Shengelis of the Detroit News, and we're to discuss Texas and a team. What was the name of that team we're going to discuss?
I think they would be called the Wolverines. I think we're going to say some Go Blue up in here. I think you just said you're surrounded by women and you're the smartest man in the
room. Well, that's probably debatable in some rooms. I don't know.
You keep great company.
We're going to be right back after these messages with AP and Kelly as we see it.
Hi, I'm AP Stedham for Greer's Markets. If you're planning a big party or for every day, shop at Greer's for delicious food, beverages, and snacks. Save time and money by checking on Greers.com and use Groceries to Go to get your Greer's groceries delivered. Look at the weekly ad for more information. 29 locations in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, serving the region since 1916. Remember, Greer's got it. They guarantee it.
Let the games begin at Wind Creek Casino, where new players get a free play rebate of up to $1,000 based on their first day's play. Just stop by Player Services at any Alabama location and sign up for a rewards account to get all the details. Mention you heard this ad on the radio and give the code Kelly25, and we'll throw in a $25 free play bonus. That's KELLY 25. Don't miss out on our new player promise, exclusively from Wind Creek. Minimum $75 loss required for free play rebate. Get full details at windcreek.com or see Player Services.
And we're back with AP and Kelly as we see it. And Kelly, we have a really cool guest, first time on our show. She's going to direct us to learn all about the North Carolina State Wolfpack as they play the University of Tennessee Volunteers in Charlotte this weekend. So we want to welcome to the show Jaden Watson Fisher.
Hi.
Hi, Jaden.
Hello. Great to be here.
So great to have you on the show. Let everybody know who you write for, who you work for, so that we can make sure to not only follow them, but also follow you and support what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm with the Raleigh News and Observer. So we are the local paper that covers NC State, North Carolina, and Duke in the Triangle.
Good
Outstanding.
stuff.
Outstanding. North Carolina State and Tennessee have played 3 times. Tennessee leads the series 2-1. So what is the primary thing we should know about the Wolfpack as they approach this game against Tennessee?
I think they're coming in with a lot of gas, a lot of a chip on their shoulder for sure. I think a lot of people are counting them out after seeing losing Peyton Wilson to the NFL draft in the offseason, and just kind of the shaky performance in week 1. People are saying there's no way they're going to be able to compete. But I think they needed to have a rough game. And now maybe they can, get back into the kind of football that they want to play.
Yeah, sometimes that helps you. We always speak about transfers. Their quarterback, Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina. What type of quarterback is he with North Carolina State, and what's the challenges he might present to the Tennessee Volunteers?
Man, he was such a hyped transfer in the offseason, over 10,000 yards at Coastal, 3-time Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year. He's got a great resume, and just watching him, he has a lot of confidence throwing the football. He is not afraid to find a guy who's running the fade, and, he will make that risk. And that was not something we saw a ton last year with Brennan Armstrong. He just didn't look quite as comfortable. Whereas Grayson McCall doesn't seem to have a problem. But he also seems to be able to make smart reads where, if a guy is heavily covered downfield, he'll make the lateral play. He'll make the shorter play. He's not as mobile as Armstrong was. That guy described himself as a linebacker who played quarterback. He was not afraid to take off. I'm not seeing that as much here. If absolutely necessary, he totally will run for it. But he's much more confident throwing the ball, and I think that's what fans are going to see a ton of.
Jaden, I'm going to say what everybody's thinking. There's nothing better than women talking football, watching football, being able to have the best seat in the house, and to inform fans. And I'm on your Twitter feed right now, or X, let's be accurate about it. And I love your response to this one. So the AP Top 25 College Football Poll, real games bring real changes. FSU, Clemson should tumble. That's the headline. Your reaction was this. The actual poll has Clemson at number 25, but Florida State drops out and Georgia Tech enters at 23. NC State stays at number 24, while Boston College, SMU, and Carolina all receive votes. And you say, I did not write this. So if you disagree, I'm not the one you be mad at. Thank you.
It's true. My editor is the AP voter for our newsroom, and so I was like, if anyone has any problems with his ballot, take it up with him. Don't take it up with me.
I love that type of personality because sports brings so many of us together. Tell me this, because you bring a different angle to the game. What do you want people to know about this team this year that may be overlooked? Something that we may not know if we don't have boots on the ground like you do.
Yeah, I think on a national scale, everyone has talked so much about the defense and, is it going to take a step back? And certainly there were issues this past week, but Tony Gibson is an elite defensive coordinator. His staff has been together for 5 seasons, I think. They know what they're doing. They know how to recruit. They know how to get the best out of their guys. They've been in the top 25 in defense the last 3 years. Like, yeah, you have new pieces and, you have guys stepping into new roles. But I personally don't understand the idea where it's like, oh, they're going to be super bad. Because I don't think that's the case. I don't think you're going to have a really terrible defense under the staff that they've got. And they're really annoyed about that, truthfully. They're like, we don't think that's fair. Like, yes, we lost Peyton and some other guys, but we didn't lose everyone. We have a lot of returners, a lot of great transfers. So I think as the season progresses, you're just going to witness, more chemistry, more growth, and they're going to find a way to win games and to beat other teams up.
Maybe that's one of their tools in the toolbox. So they want to go under the radar and be the underdog. So people count them out, and then they let their play speak for themselves.
They love that. So yeah, they hate it, but they love it. So
makes a lot of sense.
Hey, Jaden, I want to ask you about the cornerback, Aiden White. Can he shut down some of those Tennessee receivers?
I think so. I mean, I really enjoyed watching him last year. I'll be honest, I don't have some of the institutional knowledge that other guys, or I say guys, simply because that's who's on the beat, but other reporters might have. But just watching him, he was so aggressive at trying to get the football. I love watching him in coverage because he is not afraid to really go after guys. And if I recall correctly, he wasn't someone who was getting a ton of pass interference penalties. Like, he made a play on the ball. He's not here to just like, oh, I'm going to get in your way. No, I want that interception. I want the pick 6. So I'm excited to see how he kind of matches up with the Vols.
Tell us more about the ACC Receiver of the Week. What do we need to know about this young man that, once again, I love knowing those nuggets that only the locals know, because when you see it on the national stage, you're like, hey, my people told me this. Jaden told me so.
Oh, my gosh. Casey is someone it's so cute, and he probably doesn't want me saying cute, but like this kid will show up to like events just like with his backpack, just like hanging out, like it's no big deal. Something that sticks out to me is he's not only a great playmaker, but it seems like he really cares about this program and the community that surrounds it. They do an annual Meet the Pack event before week 1, usually at the beginning of August. He had a breakout season last year, just really, really carried the offense. And his line for autographs was so long. Like other guys, they were just like wandering around signing stuff as kids would come up. They had to get this man a table and a chair. And like he stayed longer than anyone else far after like the event officially ended, and he was still there signing every single autograph, making sure every single kid got a photo. And so yeah, I think you're going to see him make really big plays. He's athletic, he's unafraid, but people need to know that he seems to be a really good kid, and I've enjoyed covering him in this last year.
Last minute, Jaden, can the defense present a challenge to Nico, the outstanding quarterback for Tennessee? Can they rush the passer?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they're not scared. Red Hibbler is, I think, number 2 on the depth chart, and you know he plays on the line. And when I tell you that kid is crazy, I mean, he is gonna go after you. We got Devin Van, who is a returner. He's a captain. I think he led the team in sacks last year. And between him and Red, they had like this little competition going to see who was going to be number 1. And I think so much of football comes down to A, like, yes, fundamentals, but B, just how much you want it. And I think these guys really want it, and they want to prove that they can do it and that they can hang with the big dogs. So I'm not gonna make any predictions in terms of score, who's gonna win. I really don't know. But when we see Nico on the ground, I think a couple, would be reasonable to expect.
Hey, Jaden, we want to thank you so much. Jaden Watson-Fisher from the News Raleigh Observer, and we really appreciate you being on the show. And then we're going to be right back after these messages with AP and Kelly as we see it.
Thanks, Jaden.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm AP Stedham for Greer's Markets. If you're planning a big party or for every day, shop at Greer's for delicious food, beverages, and snacks. Save time and money by checking on Greers.com and use Groceries to Go to get your Greer's groceries delivered. Look at the weekly ad for more information. 29 locations in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, serving the region since 1916. Remember, Greer's got it. They guarantee it. I'm AP Stedham with Dr. Jason Northcutt of Robertsdale Dental Care.
AP, not only do we offer basic full-service dental treatment, but I also have developed a niche within the practice where I provide comprehensive dental implant services, such as single implants, bone grafting, and full mouth reconstruction. I've been highly trained in those disciplines to offer comfortable and long-lasting solutions to major dental problems.
Come by and see Dr. Jason Northcutt at Robertsdale Dental Care.
And we're back with AP and Kelly as we see it. And our very special guest from the Detroit News is Angelique Chengelis, who's covered Michigan for many years. And it's always a lot of fun speaking Big Blue, because I know Kelly, she bleeds blue. Go blue, right? Angelique, yeah. I have to, every show we have this, Angelique. Even though we cover the SEC and other teams, I think we cover Michigan. Like that's a separate, SEC is one thing, but Michigan is something else, right?
Well, that's your niche. I mean, that's why Kelly's there, to give you that Michigan perspective. Nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
Last year, you needed her there last year to talk about this team.
Oh my gosh! Between Kansas City and Michigan, Angelique, right? both teams. She picks
Listen,
winners, right?
Angelique, he's going to be saying pop by the time we're done with this. I promise you.
Oh my gosh, that'll be something.
Oh my. So anyway, Angelique, big ball game, Texas and Michigan. This is the first time, if you can believe this, that they've played each other regular season. They played once in the Rose Bowl, 2005, a 1-point victory by Texas. It was a field goal, if I recall. I think Vince Young was the quarterback for Texas. But this is adults, right? Only adults could not get Texas and Michigan together for 100 and something years.
Yeah, I mean, and this is one of those games that people, Michigan fans, have wanted. They wanted to play in. This was before the expansion, before any of this, the last few years. They wanted to see Texas at Michigan Stadium. They want to see like Alabama at Michigan Stadium. They want to see these big matchups. And certainly at Michigan, the last couple of years, the non-conference schedule has been pretty weak. So the anticipation level, and I'm sure Kelly can speak to this, is really just it's sky high for a game like this, and I think people have been starved for this kind of matchup here.
Mm-hmm. We begin with the quarterbacks always, Angelique. That's important. So you have the walk-on Davis Warren, and then Alex Orji. He's the dual threat quarterback. So can you elaborate on the quarterback situation in Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, Davis Warren is a guy who really had not had any notable playing time since he was a sophomore in high school, and to no fault of his own. I mean, he was diagnosed with leukemia in 2019, and then
Yes.
he goes through grueling chemotherapy, comes back, he wants to play football, he transfers to a school in Connecticut. 2020 hits, no football because of COVID. So he was just a word of mouth kind of kid, and he got a couple preferred walk-on offers. One of them was Michigan, one was Duke, and so he's been waiting his time behind Cade McNamara, behind JJ McCarthy. Then you've got Alex Orji, who I think people had seen him the last couple of years. They sprinkle him in there in a couple different ways, and I think he got a lot of acclaim before the Rose Bowl because he was sort of simulating Jalen Milroe as they were preparing for Alabama, and gave them that look. So he's a guy that both of them are quarterbacks that these teammates really respect. I thought maybe Orji was going to win the job, but it was Davis Warren, and I think that's how they're going forward with this.
Something else that's very new this season is a new head coach at the helm. Coach Moore leading the way officially now. We know that he has learned what not to say during interviews.
He's a little bit of French, I think. Yeah.
Right. Oui. But Angelique, what's the mood like? How are the students? How are the fans? How is the city? As we embark on this big game taking on Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, Kelly, because I'll scan the message boards and you get the sense people are like, hey, does anybody remember that Michigan won the national championship just a few months ago? Because there's already hand-wringing after the first game. Where's Donovan Edwards? Is this offensive line going to gel? So there's already this kind of angst after game one, even, 30-10 win that they pulled away in that game at the end. But I think that there is tremendous buzz. I mean, you've got College Game Day coming. This is a big noon kickoff game. So Fox is going to have its pregame show here. So there is that real serious buzz for finally a big non-conference matchup. And, this is a team that Michigan hasn't lost a regular season game since 2021 at Michigan State. So there's a 23-game win streak at Michigan Stadium. There is the win streak in general. Obviously, defending national champions facing a team that was a national semifinalist. So, I mean, it's two. I think people are describing it correctly as two blue bloods. And I think it's, again, the weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be a perfect day on Saturday and noon, and I like noon versus a night game. So it's all about me.
No, listen, when I was home in Detroit last week, my parents, we were all watching different games on at different times. But my dad said it was too bleeping close. Like, Wolverines, get it together. And I mean, I was thinking it was going to be some obnoxious score.
Right.
But, we take our sports very seriously.
Well, I mean, that's his opinion is what a lot of people felt. And I kept saying, I have this team going 8-4 this season, and I seem to be out on a limb with that. But I just thought there's just too much new. I mean, new head coach, new starting quarterback, new offensive line, really a new starters on the offense, except for Colston Loveland, and then you've got a new defensive staff. And I just thought, well, it's going to take time for all of this to gel, and the schedule is more demanding than it was the last couple of years. So. I mean, I think that how your dad felt is how a lot of people are still feeling, like it was too close, and the score shows that it was a 20-point win, but it went late. And if what's the Fresno State's driving there at the end, they get to the Michigan 10 when Will Johnson makes that pick 6, and if they score there, it's a 1-possession game with about 5 minutes left. So that was close for comfort for a lot of Michigan fans.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of blue bloods, Michigan #1 all-time wins. I think Texas #4. Michigan is a 6 or 7 point underdog, which is unusual at home. How will Michigan contend with the host of receivers in Quinn Ewers? I mean, Michigan's noted for their defense, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. And talking to Will Johnson on Monday, he was a little frustrated. Fresno State went at him a lot on last Saturday. And he got frustrated. He got burned a couple times. But then a couple of the guys called it the angriest pick 6 they've ever seen, angriest interception, the way Will ran that back, because he was frustrated. But, as a defensive back, you forget, you move on very quickly. But to your point, I think, AP, that this is going to be all about Michigan's front 7, and particularly, the front guys, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, and the 2 tackles, and what kind of pressure they can get. And then you've got really talented edge guys. And that's where Michigan has really, I think that's where Michigan, I mean, they call themselves Edge Rush U. And I think that's going to be very vital. Try to kind of disrupt Quinn Ewers. I mean, I think, I think people discredit him. He's a veteran. He can read defenses. Yes. He can sense the pressure. So I'm not sure that they're going to get him down, but I think that they can rattle him, and that would be that's how they'll find success, if they can get him to make some bad throws. And because I think otherwise it's going to be really hard. They've got 5, 6 receivers, and
a host of them. Yes,
I mean it's and a really good quarterback. So I think it's going to be a long day for Michigan secondary. So I think they're going to rely on that pressure they can get up front.
Angelique, how important do you think the special teams will be in this game? I mean, we know how important you've got to have a kicker, right? Of course, mm-hmm. You've got to have your punt returners. But how much of a difference do you think that they may make in this game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and no one really knew about Zvada until last week, and he kicks these 3 field goals, 55-yarder, and after the game, he's saying, my range probably about 60. So, and it sort of reminded me, the 2022 with Jake Moody, and they go to Nebraska, and that was a tough game in a tough environment, and they needed Jake Moody to make that happen. They needed Jake Moody to make that kick against Illinois in 2022 as well. So absolutely vital. And, I tend to think that I think the point spread is probably fair. I think it'll be, I'm not seeing this as a down to the wire game, but if it is, I think that Michigan feels very confident in Dominic Zvada. And I also think that they feel good about their return game. I mean, they had Kalel Mullings, who's now kind of established himself as their lead back after one game, returning kicks. And, I just think that they had some good balance in special teams. So going forward, I think that they're going to feel very confident with him.
They're going to want to wow Desmond Howard if he's going to be there, because, that iconic Heisman stance that everybody remembers that he threw down when he scored. So absolutely.
I mean, that was the Ohio State game, biggest stage at that point, and it was pretty exciting. But they've got a long way to find another Heisman Trophy winner on this team. But this is the kind of game, though, that for both teams, mm-hmm. Quinn Ewers wants to win a Heisman Trophy, and this is a game where he can establish himself as maybe a front runner.
Yeah, he has a dislike to Michigan already, having played at Ohio State, so that's built into him right now. So he's returning to Ann Arbor one more time.
That team up north.
Team up north, right? Hey, Angelique, we want to thank you so much. We really appreciate it. People can find you at Detroit News, Angelique Shengelis, the fabulous writer from who covers Michigan for many years, and we really appreciate it. We always have a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back after these messages with AP and Kelly as we see it.
Hi, I'm AP Stedham for Greer's Markets. If you're planning a big party or for every day, shop at Greer's for delicious food, beverages, and snacks. Save time and money by checking on Greers.com and use Groceries to Go to get your Greer's groceries delivered. Look at the weekly ad for more information. 29 locations in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, serving the region since 1916. Remember, Greer's got it. They guarantee it.
Let the games begin at Wind Creek Casino, where new players get a free play rebate of up to $1,000 based on their first day's play. Just stop by Player Services at any Alabama location and sign up for a rewards account to get all the details. Mention you heard this ad on the radio and give the code Kelly25, and we'll throw in a $25 free play bonus. That's KELLY 25. Don't miss out on our new player promise, exclusively from Wind Creek. Minimum $75 loss required for free play rebate. Get full details at windcreek.com or see Player Services.
Welcome back. Hopefully you have been enjoying the show thus far. Welcome back to AP and Kelly as we see it. I told you, AP, you were the smartest man in the room. You had yourself surrounded. Angelique and Jaden and myself were talking football, talking about, of course, last week and looking forward to this week. But I am so pumped up. I love the way our show is flowing as we get to do this each and every week. So thank you, my co-host, for making it happen.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Kelly. Thank you.
We're going to recap a couple of more games before we get into what we can expect, coming up this weekend, because a lot of people, again, had their eyes glued to various games. I know a big one was Alabama that we were both watching, and we've got that personal connection because obviously the show was born in LA, Lower Alabama. What did you want to say about a Crimson Tide?
Yeah, well, Kelly, we had emphasized Ryan Williams out of Saraland High School. We
Right.
thought that he would make an immediate impact, and he did. The first play, I think his first reception was a long touchdown, so had over 100 yards, freshman of the week. We know that he's an all-star type, even though he's underage, I think 17. So
Yeah.
Ryan Williams, he's the star of that receiving corps in my mind, I believe.
Yeah, and just personal connection. My kids went to school with Ryan. He is a phenomenal player, yes, but an even better student. So think about that. He expedited his graduation year. He was supposed to be the class of 2025, so he's 17. So just think about it. He can't even vote yet. But he changed that game in such a positive way. And as you mentioned, SEC freshman player of the week, fun young man to watch. And he started a new podcast this week and already had 10,000 plus followers. So he's on to something. That's going to be a fun team to continue to watch, of course, with a new head coach, by the way. Then there's that.
Yes, Kalen DeBoer, right. He did okay.
Yeah, he did okay.
This week, which is a game last year where they benched Jalen Milroe. So now Alabama in this particular game, Kelly, this week, they're a 30-point favorite over South Florida.
My best quote out of that game, I love when, I should say post game, when Ryan Williams said 4 + 2 = 6.
Yeah, it was cute.
4 + 2
I like that.
= 6. It makes a lot of sense. All right, how about that Southern Miss game? That caught my attention because I had never seen the SEC issue a statement. I want to read it to you real fast. It says, by mutual agreement of the participating institutions as permitted by NCAA rules, tonight's game between Kentucky and Southern Mississippi has been terminated and is considered a complete game with a final score of 31-0 in favor of Kentucky. All statistics in the game are considered final and complete.
Yeah, I think that was a good move. They were ahead by 31 points. 31-0 was the final score. So Kentucky, they have Brock Vandegrift, their quarterback there. They're looking for big things from him, the transfer from Georgia. This week they play the first SEC game. It's Kentucky hosting South Carolina. Kentucky's a 10-point favorite. So, and there's been some history between those coaches. I don't think they like each other.
You don't think so? Not even a speech.
There's been some words. Yeah, there's been some words between them in some episodes. Yeah, so but it's always an interesting game.
But you can't be all bark and no bite. So make sure that those words are put to good use. Indeed. How about and I thought about this. I kind of chuckled to myself when watching the Tennessee game. Nico, because I can't say his last name, but you can.
Maliava.
You got that. However you say it is 10,000 times better than I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Of course, 55-3 for Chattanooga.
I think Kelly, Nico, we knew he was going to be good. we just had a feeling that he's be much better at that position than the prior quarterback. And they have those receivers. Brew McCoy is one of the leaders. We know Brew. And Tennessee, that offense, we know that Josh Heupel, that's his forte. Can the defense get better? So Tennessee, big ball game, as we discussed, with Jaden versus North Carolina State, SEC versus the ACC. Tennessee, and that game is a 7.5-point favorite. So I think Tennessee will win that ball game. I really do, because too much offense for North Carolina State.
Gotcha. I love hearing your predictions in this show. How about that Georgia game? Running back Nate Frazier. My goodness. Did he not just shred that field?
Yeah, I mean, Georgia was so strong. 34 points they put on Clemson and held them to 3. So Clemson, they were stealing money, the coaches last week, right? No offense, no defense. Georgia's rolling again. The Bulldogs, they're all bite, okay? Their quarterback Carson Beck, a veteran leader of the team, good offense, good defense. So Georgia is still the team in the SEC. This week, the spread is so much we can't even discuss it, Kelly.
Oh my goodness gracious!
The team they're playing, Tennessee Tech, yeah.
Tennessee Tech, and you know that is going to be the theme of the games for this week as we go ahead and push aside those recaps and get into the games happening this week. Alabama is first on the list. We go alphabetical order. So what do you want us to know about this game?
Yeah, South Florida is a team that they should probably beat. They're a 30-point favorite last year. Like I say, Jalen Milroe was benched. This is a whole new attitude with Alabama playing this opponent. So this is a 2-for-1 deal, Kelly. Alabama went down there last year to Tampa. South Florida plays 2 games in Tuscaloosa. So Alabama would be a big winner again, I believe.
Arkansas up next. What do we need to know about their opponent and or their team?
Yeah, Arkansas going to Oklahoma State. Big ball game for Arkansas and Sam Pittman. You know, their quarterback, Taylon Green, a transfer from Boise State. They scored 10 consecutive possessions against Arkansas Pine Bluff under Bobby Petrino, the offensive coordinator. So Taylon Green, they got to stop the running back from Oklahoma State, the All-American candidate, Ollie Gordon. He's a sensational player. So this is a big game for Arkansas. Arkansas in that game, Kelly, is let me look here. We got a 7.5-point underdog. So this would be a big win.
It sounds like they had some smoke coming out of those cleats. I mean, they were
yes.
taking care of business.
Oh, yes.
Auburn is up next. They their fans want to say War Eagle. What say you?
Yeah, Auburn is a favorite in that game, 13 points. They're playing California. Jaden, watch out for him, the running back from California. He could be an All-American for the Bears. It was a close ball game last year. Sammy Jackson, the quarterback from California last year, plays for Auburn now, the wide receiver position. So, but Auburn should win this game. They're playing at home. The crowd always helps Auburn.
Absolutely. Scooching on down the list, Mizzou, our friend, our favorite, Luther Burden
the third. And Missouri had a good victory. We love Luther, right? We think he can be an All-American, maybe a Heisman candidate for that matter. You know, a big game. They beat up on Missouri State. Murray State. I'm sorry, 51-0. This week, another big ball game. They're favored by 34.5 points. Missouri.
Okay.
No problem.
You know what comes after M? Oh, Oklahoma on deck.
Oklahoma, they're a favorite, about 28 points in that ball game. They had a good game against Temple, beating Temple. What was that score? 51-3. So this is really not a true test. They're just another warm-up game for them, Oklahoma. Just another warm-up game.
Okay, so what's going to be the final score for our next team, South Carolina? Are they going to be on the winning end or the opposite end?
I think Kentucky's probably win that game at home against South Carolina. Yeah, they're a 10-point underdog. I think Kentucky will win.
And that's that SEC matchup that our friend Jared's looking forward to for sure. He made sure that we pointed that out. The Gators are up next. I'm scooching on down here. I'm scooching on down. Because I've got notes everywhere, probably like you do. I see on our screen Florida taking on Samford.
Yeah, Samford. You know, Florida had a bad game against Miami, 41-14 at home. They're in trouble. The new quarterback, the freshman DJ Lagway, will be the starter because Graham Mertz, the quarterback for Florida, is in the concussion protocol. So they're playing Stanford. They need to rebound and come up with a big win.
Okay. And I know I said we're going in alphabetical order, but I put my list in 3s, so just don't mind me over here. I know the alphabet, I promise. Can we look at those LSU Tigers right now?
Yeah, LSU Tigers. They lost to USC. People are mad. The coach is mad. Everybody's mad over there. Nicholls State will be the brunt of that madness, and they'll, the home state team, Nicholls State, they'll come to Tiger Stadium and get a big paycheck and go home a big loser.
Whoa, 2 for 1 to you. Okay.
Right.
Ole Miss is our next team that we're highlighting. They're taking on MTSU. What does MTSU stand for?
Middle Tennessee State University. And Kelly, they're only a 41-point underdog. So
that's it.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. So Ole Miss, they'll continue their winning ways.
Mississippi State. We're staying in the state right now. Mississippi State. What do we need to know about this team as well as their opponent, Arizona State?
Yeah, good ball game for them to go out of conference. Arizona State now the Big 12. Mississippi State is a 6.5-point underdog. So if Jeff Levy and company can go out west and win that ball game for the conference, that would be big for his team and their confidence. Kelly.
All righty, less than a minute, co-host. Let's go over to the T's. Texas.
We know Michigan and Texas get together. I think Texas might have too many receivers to guard. Too many to guard. It's not just one; it's too many of them. And I don't know if Michigan has the offense, enough offense to overcome Texas's prolific offense. I'm not sure.
Texas A&M up next.
Yeah, Texas A&M, 18.5-point favorite. They had the big letdown against Notre Dame, losing at home by 10 points. Quarterback did not play well. Remember we said last week, 16 TDs, 2 interceptions. Heck, he had 2 interceptions last week, didn't play well. The offense was sputtering, so A&M's going to look to make a comeback as an 18.5-point favorite.
Got to put more points on the board. Last but not least, Vanderbilt licking their chops because they had a great game. Great game last weekend.
I'm glad to say that. They beat Virginia Tech, overtime victory. So Vanderbilt right now, that was a tremendous overtime win for them. And they're playing a team. I don't even think it's on the board, Kelly. So I think Vanderbilt get another victory. Yes.
All right, there we go. We went round robin, all the teams covering all the games. We look forward to seeing you online. Post your questions. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Yet another great week with you, co-host.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm AP Stedham for Greer's Markets. If you're planning a big party or for every day, shop at Greer's for delicious food, beverages, and snacks. Save time and money by checking on Greers.com and use groceries to go to get your Greer's groceries delivered. Look at the weekly ad for more information. 29 locations in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi, serving the region since 1916. Remember, Greer's got it. They guarantee it.
Let the games begin at Wind Creek Casino, where new players get a free play rebate of up to $1,000 based on their first day's play. Just stop by Player Services at any Alabama location and sign up for a rewards account to get all the details. Mention you heard this ad on the radio and give the code Kelly25 and we'll throw in a $25 free play bonus. That's KELLY 25. Don't miss out on our new player promise, exclusively from Wind Creek. Minimum $75 loss required for free play rebate. Get full details at windcreek.com or see Player Services.